Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Tior, and this is Arkham Horror, the card game, doing the custom campaign Dark Matter with Diana Stanley and Jenny Barnes. I pulled up my old save where I did my initial playthrough of this game a long time ago, and it was with Lily Chen and Minty Fan, and it was without Pen of the Queen, so I'm pretty sure Pen of the Queen could definitely cheese this final scenario. Anyway, let's read up some stuff. It is actually before that. I apologize for the last video being a bit sloppy all over the place. It was just kind of messy all around, but that's how puzzles are, I guess. In any case, Starfall. It is beyond doubt the sun is experiencing unprecedented acceleration in the decay of its hydrogen core. K2 PS187 estimates that there are only a few years left before the fusion reactions that fuel our star will run out of gas and collapse on itself, generating a radioactive supernova that will destroy all life within a few light years. Whatever the cultists have done within Fragment has doomed our solar system to a premature end. Your only hope now is to convince the remainder of the various colonies of humanity of this accelerated death and help them gather the resources and technology necessary to survive the supernova in any way possible. K2PS187 makes the preparations for the navigation console as you brace for the many months-long journey ahead of you traveling across the solar system to save humanity. If the investigators know of the abjuration of the throne, which we do, we made that effort, another path. Perhaps there is another way. The ritual you've glimpsed in the halls of Tessilda's temple will take many months to prepare, and you still do not know where it must be performed. But if it is possible, it will surely give humanity enough time to develop the technology necessary to survive. Now to find the ritual site is another question altogether. Alright, as for setting up, it's going to be based off a number of things. Alright, first things first. Every tally mark of impending doom we have will make us start with one additional doom. So we're going to be starting with 3 doom. We managed to drop it down a point, so it bought us one whole round. It is what it is. Anyway, there's a bunch of setup as far as the scanning deck, depending on what we have done. If the Elbrus station has been fully stabilized, if the Nostalgia 2 has been saved, and then if you are allied with Amigo, it does various things. Thankfully, we've got these little things here that help us out. So this here is, so if Elbrus Station has been stabilized, set aside this one and shuffle Project Origami into the scanning deck. And then over here, if Nostalgia 2 has been saved, set aside Directors, not sure how to pronounce that, and shuffle Last Hope into the deck. And then if you are allied with the Migo, set aside the Migo collector and shuffle Repairing the Threshold into the scanning deck. Okay. So we don't need to worry about these now. Yeah, it just says set aside, so we'll just have these set aside for now. Okay. We'll be starting on... Yeah, we'll be starting on the Tattered Demolion. No surprises there. The Tattered Demolion starship. The Tattered Demolion is large, lumbering, and slow. The piloting and most internal systems are controlled by the cybernetic computer K2PS187. Alright. And then we've got the encounter deck, scanning deck, and then there are 3 agendas. Agenda 1A, Journey Across Space. The sun is getting hotter every day. There might not be enough time to save everyone. K2PS187 has preemptively plotted the trajectories of the 3 major population centers within the solar system, but you'll have to decide which ones to prioritize saving. As a lightning bolt during a skill test, cross out 1 tally mark next to your memories to reduce the difficulty of this test by 1. 12 doom to advance, we are starting with 3. And then there's only 1 act. End times aboard the Tattered Demolion, and you and your companions traverse the solar system to find a way to survive the blast and save as many as you can before the inevitable end. Action, scan. Search for the topmost card in the scanning deck with an icon matching your current location and draw it. Shuffle the scanning deck. Find and complete as many objectives as possible before the incoming supernova. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. Alright, let me put a break here and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm admittedly a bit tilted at this point. I keep making mistakes, and my first run was actually the best one, but I made just a small error that unfortunately I could not rewind. And And then after that, I was just tilted, and I just kept making mistakes. And then I would try to rewind, and then mess up the rewind, and then everything just kind of went to hell. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed, and I'm kind of tired of reading these things. Obviously, I should probably step away, but I do actually like this scenario. It's a lot of fun. I just keep making stupid mistakes. So we'll go ahead and draw. As for what our starting hands have been, it's honestly been pretty variable. Honestly, having the Twilight Blade right off the bat is actually probably a good call at this point. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, and then over here, nice and whole, magnifying glass, a pilfer. This is going to be awkward, but I think I'll do it this way. Okay, red clock. I'm about 50-50 on the red clock on this, because unfortunately this is like my 4th attempt at trying to do this correctly. But I've been learning some new rules I've been messing up on, which is kind of nice. Alright, Tatterdemalion. Let's talk about our ship. Starship, 2 shroud, 0 clues. It is connected to the attached location and vice versa. Moving to or from the Tatterdemalion does not cost an action. You can treat it as a lightning bolt. I'll use this connection marker to show what's connected to what. As an action, attach the Tatterdemalion to any location. Investigators at any location may activate this ability. Limit once per investigator per round. And then we got Pluto, which has mysterious signals. Strange clicking noises can be heard emanating from the barren surface on specific frequencies. Scientists believe that there may be life on this dwarf planet. Over here, we've got the asteroid belt, a sight for sore eyes. The United Coalition lies within the asteroid belt between the planets Mars and Jupiter. This is where the Tatterdemalion was first constructed before being reformed into a cultist ship. Over here we got Mars, a glimmer of hope. Many escaped to Mars on several Ark-class ships when the Ancient Ones destroyed Earth. Now it is where most of humanity remains. So yeah, the sun's about to explode. We're trying to go all over the solar system to try to save humanity or whoever. Obviously we got the Migo, we got the colonies, we got the Mars colony, and then there's of course all the freaky technology and eldritch nonsense that we can also use to possibly make the sun exploding a little less painful. So, investigation phase. Let's go ahead and start with Jenny. I'm going to actually no, we will start with Diana. So Diana, first action, I'm going to have you connect this to Pluto. I always start with Pluto. Pluto becomes a lot worse as the game progresses, so we're going to try to deal with Pluto as quickly as possible. And then for my 2 remaining actions, I'm just going to get out B-Cup and my Wolf Mask. Alright, and then for Jenny, I'm going to go ahead and, as a lightning bolt, go onto Pluto. Yugoth, population 23,615 Migo, 2 shroud, 1 clue. After you reveal Yugoth, spawn the set-aside Migo Sentinel at this location. During your turn, if you are at a Pluto location or a Starship location attached to a Pluto location, resolve an additional Chaos token during a skill test you perform. So this is only during your turn. It won't happen on the Mythos or any other phase. The sun shines there no brighter than a star, but the strange fungoid Migo need no light. Alright, so let's go ahead and spawn the Migo guy. Migo Sentinel. He's kind of annoying. He is a Aloof Hunter Monster Migo, 4 combat, 3 evade, 4 health. After you reveal a bad token while at its location, you have to move one of your clues onto it. And if you kill it, you'll get all of its clues. Victory 1, 2 damage, 1 horror. Despite being allies with the Migo, this guy is kind of annoying. As far as I know, there's no punishment for killing him. But at the same time, I usually just try to avoid killing him. Anyway, so we're now down here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the free scan action. We want moons. Threshold of Yugoth. Don't forget the shuffle. Threshold of Yugoth, 3 Shroud, 4 clues. Put this location into play. When you would scan at Threshold Yugoth, reveal a random Chaos token for each clue on Threshold Yugoth. If you reveal any of the bad tokens, cancel that scan and take 1 horror instead. Victory 1. Since I successfully scanned, I will draw a card and get ourselves centered. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and play a easy mark to get 2 resources and draw a card. I'm going to go ahead and spin 2 to get out a Gias. I shall not commit cards during my turn. I have +1 to all my stats. Then I'm going to fast out a magnifying glass. I'm going to go ahead and spin 2 to get out a red clock. And I think that's it for now. I'm not going to do the ace in the hole just yet. All right. That is it. Enemy phase. This guy's aloof and just going to hang out. Upkeep. I've had worse. That's good. Elusive. All right. First doom. Anachronism. Test willpower 3 for each point you fail by. Either discard a story asset you control or take 1 horror. I don't actually have a way of stopping this, so 1 to 3. All right. Right now it is skull is -X, where X is half the half revealed locations without clues rounded up. So it's -1 right now. So I am 0 to 3. So for each point I fail by, I have to do things. So I will take a horror here, and then take the remaining 2 horror, and I'm going to use an I've had worse to negate that horror. Let me see how that works for that for each nonsense. Okay, so unfortunately, I think I have to choose to resolve this for each individual one. So I'll take a horror, put it on the bait cop, take a horror. I'm going to use I've had worse to negate it and gain a resource. And then put this in the basement. And then gain another resource and draw a card. And then the last horror will go on me. Because I'm not going to give up any. Because unfortunately, when you have to make a decision, you can't, it's treated as a separate instance. Which is annoying. It's essentially the deny existence ruling, which makes Diana's weakness a little bit more threatening. Anyway, over here. Grim Future. Add Grim Future to any investigator's threat area. When the act or agenda advances, take 1 damage and 1 horror. Test agility 3. If you succeed, discard it. I'm just thinking, who do I want to actually have this? It'll probably be safer on Jenny, but I think I want it on Diana. We'll put it on Diana. All right, investigation phase. I'm going to start with I'm going to start with Jenny. I'm going to place this place a charge. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the free scan. I'm looking for Moon again. There we go. That's a Moon. Universal Archives, Theory of Everything. Put this card into play under the control of an investigator at your location. Action: if the top card of the scanning deck contains an icon matching any revealed location, exhaust Universal Archives, scan as if you were at that location, shuffle the scanning deck. So this is a way to scan without having to be at that location, though right now my symbols don't match. I did successfully scan, so I will draw a card and take advantage of that. Okay. Okay. So my first skill check is going to be at +4 skill. Any investigating I do at the threshold Yugoth, I'm going to be drawing an extra token, which could be an elder thing. So that would be, what, 8 to 3? So I'll need to make myself a little bit better than that. So with that in mind, let's move over for our first action. Second action, I want to play True Awakening, grab a clue, and draw 2 cards. Alright, neat, but I won't be able to do anything with that Green Man Medallion now because I can't commit. At least not during my turn. Alright. Next, we're going to spend 4 to do Pilfer. We're right now 8 to 3. I will spend 2 resources to go 11 to 3. I have to reveal 2 tokens. This is a moment of truth. If I auto-fail, it's going to hurt a lot. Alright, we passed by a bunch. So this is going to go back into my hand because I passed by a ton. I'm just going to put it back in my hand so I don't forget. I get 3 clues here. And then I am going to go ahead and do Ace in the Hole. I'm going to go ahead and scan again. And get this. Alright. Also, there are now 2 reveal locations with no clues. We're still at -1 on skulls. Repairing the Threshold. Put this card into play next to the act deck. Help the Migo travel back to their homeworld by returning the Lost Yithian artifact. If an investigator at Threshold Yugoth controls Stasis Cube, remove it from the game and spend 4 clues as a group to add this card to the victory display. The strange beings of Migo point out that members of the great race of Yith have been frequently spotted in Martian territories. So, hint, probably should go to Mars. And this is just an objective to help out the Migo before the sun explodes. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my second action to go here. I'll use a lightning bolt to get back onto the ship. And then I'm going to spend 2 to go ahead and get out my stylish coat. And then this will get discarded. Alright, Diana. First action. We're going to no longer be connected to Pluto and not have to deal with that nonsense. We'll connect to Mars. As a lightning bolt, I'm going to go ahead and get onto Mars. Hope. Population, 138,021 humans. 2 Shroud, 1 Clue. At reaction at the end of your turn, heal 1 Horror. Which I keep forgetting, by the way. I always forget this ability, and it's actually really helpful. Action, resign, settle down with the last bastion of humanity, and hope for the best. If we do that now, we all die because the sun's still going to explode. The first structure of the colony was assembled in 2050, shortly after the end times began. Despite the harsh conditions, the colony slowly grew into the great metropolis it is today. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 to get out my Twilight Blade. To get that up and running. Then I will spend an action I'm thinking of the order here. Yeah, I'm okay with this. For my last action, I will go ahead and draw a card. Paranoia. Perfect. That was actually a really good call. I was thinking about gaining a resource instead, but that actually helped. So at the end of her turn, I will heal 1 Horror. Boop. Okay. Enemy phase. This guy is no longer connected to the Tattered Amalian, so he's not going to follow us. Upkeep. Hello, Dr. Milan. 5th Doom. Cyber Cultist, any colony location. After you perform a successful scan, place 1 Doom on Cyber Cultist. At first, it was only a small sacrifice. Hits for 1 Horror. Okay. Colony locations, that is Yugoth, and Hope right now. So we'll have it spawn on Hope, and we'll deal with this guy soon enough. All right, and then over here, Cold Vacuum. Test Combat 3. If you fail, you must choose one. Discard a non-story asset you control, or choose and discard 3 cards from your hand. Horror Vacue. Nature abhors a vacuum. Okay. So keyword here is not during each of my turns. This is not my turn. So I'm going to go ahead and do Green Man Medallion and go 6-3. We pass. Don't lose anything from that. All right, investigation phase. Oh, also, I don't remember if I shuffled or not. Pretty sure I did. Give me a moment. Okay, I definitely shuffled. Good. I'm really paranoid. I apologize. Okay. What do we want to do for this? So right now the top symbol is this one. And I don't remember if that one's an issue or not. I kind of have a feel what some of these cards do now because I nearly played through the entire thing before messing up. All right. Which was too bad because I was ready. I was ready for the final phase. I had a fully stocked up cannon ready to fire and botched it at the end. In any case, Jenny, we'll have you go first. We're going to Lightning Bolt get onto Hope. We will go ahead and place a charge for this, but we're not going to move because it won't matter. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the free scan. We want to look for circles. All right. I did shuffle. All right, Olympus Telescope. 2 Shroud, 2 Clues. Put this location into play. Double action, investigate. Choose any revealed location as if it were at that location. Ever since the last arc left, there has been no more radio signals received from our home planet. Cool. I did successfully scan, so I will draw a card. Cool. I am going to go ahead and do Easy Mark, gain 2 resources, and draw a card. And then use Stylish Coat to get another resource. Then I'm going to spend 4 to get out Dr. Milan, which I want to put in this slot. And then last action, I could do it now. I could do a scan right now. If the top card of the scanning deck contains an icon matching any revealed location, exhaust it, scan as if you were at that location, and then shuffle the scanning deck. That is an option. But I think I'm going to wait. So I think instead, I'm just going to move for my final action. All right. Then goes to Diana. So for Diana, I'm just going to use Beat Cop to kill this thing. Oh, actually, a Doom should have been placed on this guy. I forgot, but he's going to die anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right. And then I'm going to gain a resource, then spend those resources to get out a survival knife. And then I'm going to... I should have stayed there, actually, to heal a horror, but that's okay. And then my last action, I'm going to gain a resource and then spend it to put out a Spectral Shield. All right. Enemy phase, nothing going on there. Upkeep. Bad Pack. Lone Wolf. 6 doom. Call of the Void. Alright, surges cannot be cancelled or ignored. Nothing we can do about it. If there are 3 or more tally marks under impending doom in your campaign log, shuffle the set-aside Feaster from a far enemy into the scanning deck, then remove Call of the Void from the game. So yeah, unfortunately we're going to have to deal with this now. This guy's annoying. We need to kill... He's kind of hard to kill. Well, actually, we might have a solution for him. We'll see. Oh yeah, we might actually have a solution for him. Okay, well, in any case, it surges. Yithian Observer. Okay, well, I gotta deal with you first. Okay, takes care of all that. And then yours, Alienation. Put this this card into play in your threat area. Your maximum hand size is reduced by your shroud value of your location. Action, investigate. If you succeed, instead of discarding clues, you can discard it. So right now this is reducing my hand size down to 6. At least for this location. Alright, investigation phase. Okay, well, we gotta deal with a Yithian Observer. I can go 6 to 4 easily enough. I'm just thinking how we're going to do this, because now if I scan, there's a chance that things can get worse. So this thing is important. But to get to that thing, we have to reveal another thing. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright, for right now, let's go ahead and start with Jenny. I will place one of these. I'm going to go ahead and spend one to do a Lone Wolf. I will go ahead and do the free scan now. We're looking for Triangle. Found the Martian Crab. Okay, Martian Crab. It could be spawned in any Mars location, massive, 5 combat, 2 evade, 6 health. As a reaction, after you successfully evade Martian Crab, you can spend 1 clue to deal 2 damage to it instead of exhausting it. So I could evade it and potentially do a lot of damage to it, but that will also cost me clues. So I'll have it spawn on top of Diana. That's what she's prepared for. Alright, that is a successful scan, so I do get to draw a card or get a resource. I'll get a card. Golden Pocket Watch, okay. I will go ahead and spend 2 to get out the Gold Pocket Watch. Since I played an asset, I can do Honed Instinct and get 2 more actions. I will then proceed to investigate this location. 6 to 2. As a success, I will get a resource because of Dr. Milan, and then Stylish Coat will give me another resource. I'll investigate again. 6 to 4, or 6 to 2, sorry. That is a success. I will get a resource and a clue. Alright. I don't remember if I shuffled or not. I'm pretty sure I did. Yep, definitely shuffled. Okay. Alright. Oh, by the way, skulls are -2 now, because we're at 3 locations that are revealed and have no clues on them. Alright, so the Honed Instinct's been resolved. I got resources to play with. I'm going to go ahead and scan again. So we're looking for Triangle. Okay, Martian Ruins. So this is the red square we're looking for. I'm going to shuffle this just in case. There we go. Force route 2 clues. Put this location into play and spawn the set-aside Yithian guard at this location. You cannot scan Martian Ruins while there is a ready enemy at this location. Discovered in the late 21st century, xeno-archaeologists determined these ruins to be of Yithian origins. So we get Yithian guard. So Yithian Guard, 3 combat, 4 evade, 4 health. Monster Yithian. After you deal any amount of damage to Yithian Guard, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. Little is known about the great race of Yith. Rumor has it they're very advanced and evolved brains allows them to project their minds across time and space. Hits for 1 damage and 2 horror. Victory 1. Alright. So what we can do with our last two actions is I could spend 2 actions just to investigate another location, which I think I will do for the Martian ruins. So I'll spend 2 to investigate Martian ruins. This will be 6 to 4. Okay. It is what it is. All right, Diana. We're a little bit of trouble here. Let's go ahead and attack. We'll commit a vicious blow. So this will put us at 6, 7, 8 to 4, and I'll go 10 to 4 with Wolf Mask. All right, I succeed by a lot. I'm going to do 3 damage, and then I'll do a damage to Beat Cop to kill it. All right, got that out of the way. We still need to deal with the Martian crab, though. All right. He doesn't have Retaliate, but he does still have everything else that's really annoying. So I'll go 6 to 5. And I'll go 6 to 5 one more time. All right, I failed by 2, so I take 2 horror. I'll have one of it get soaked by this. I'll do my put it in my basement, get a resource, draw a card. I'll take the horror, and then I will fast out the this back out. All right, and then it's going to go to enemy phase. Enemy's going to attack me for 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Survival Knife and commit Vicious Blow. So that's going to be 8 to 5. I'll go 10 to 5 with Wolf Mask. Alright, we passed by a bunch. So Survival Knife was 2 damage, another 2 from Vicious Blow, so that's a total of 4 damage. Then I'm going to get hit for 2 damage. Oh, actually, sorry. Since I ended my turn here, I do get to heal a horror. And then I will take 2 damage. One of it's going to get soaked by the Spectral Shield, and I'll take the other. And we'll put it in the basement for this phase. Gain a resource, draw a card. Okay, Emergency Cash, that's good. And then Upkeep phase. Deny Existence, Upkeep phase. True Awakening. Mythos, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice Pocket Watch to skip the Mythos phase. And then go straight to Investigation. Okay. I'm going to start with Diana. I'm going to go ahead and go 9 to 5. I succeed, I do 1 damage. I will sacrifice Beat Cop to finish off the crab. So good news is crab is dead. Bad news is at what cost? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to get out Backpack. I'm going to search top 12. Mercy Cash, another Survival Knife, and I don't know, a Time Worn Brand is fine. And then for my last action, since we already took care of, was it Paranoia? Yeah, we already took care of Paranoia. I'm going to go ahead and spend this action to go ahead and play this Emergency Cash for 3 resources. And draw a card. Alright, and then I will spend 1 to fast out the Twilight Blade again. Or fast out the Spectral Shield with the Twilight Blade again. And go from there. Alright. So I'm wondering if I can bait out the Fester from afar. I think that might be the play. So at the start of Jenny's turn, I'm going to go ahead and take the resources and use Stylish Coat to get another resource. And I will go ahead and yeah, unfortunately I used all my vicious blows. And I don't have a beat cop. We definitely need to get rid of this Yithian guard. Killing him is definitely doable, but you have to discard a lot of cards to make it. Oh, I also forgot about Lone Wolf. I should have gained a resource for that. Alright. So the thing about the Olympus telescope, I think I will go ahead and bait it out. So I'll go ahead and do the free scam. I need triangle. Well, that's not what we're looking for, but we now have this guy now. Aloof Hunter, Shambler from the Stars, cannot be engaged except by the ability below. After you trigger an activate ability at its location, Shambler from the Stars engages and attacks you. Limit once per round. Victory 1. Hits for 1 and 1, 3 fights, 3 evade, 4 health. Alright, shuffle. And that is still classified as a successful scan, so I will draw a card. Okay, and then I will spend 3 to get out Lola Santiago. And now we're in a good spot, to say the least. So yeah, the key thing here is the activate ability. But I can have the Shambler go towards Diana and bait it to attack us. So yeah, I think that'll be the plan. Okay. So Jenny is going to go ahead and move down. Get engaged by you. I'll try to evade it. I'm currently 9 to 4. Definitely a success. You're evaded. And then I will spend 3. Sorry, I'll spend 4 to grab this clue. Okay. Enemy phase, this Shambler from the Stars, I will have go this way. Also, my hand size in this location is only 4 because of the Force Shroud. Upkeep. Upkeep. Mythos. 7th Doom. Color of Space, I'm 2 to 3. Sure, I'll go 2 to 3. I fail by 1. Gets attached to me. So now I have to commit skill cards if I can, which I only have combat skill cards, so it's okay. Alright. And then over here, Cyber Cultist, any colony location. Get engaged. Thank you for the offering. Alright. Investigation. Oh, also this guy re-engages. Alright. So what I'm going to do here... So the biggest danger right now is that Feaster is in there. I need to get what's on this location because it's kind of important. But if I spawn the Feaster on me, it's going to be iffy. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm going to take the resource and use Stylus Code to get another resource on top of that. Lone Wolf will trigger and give me another resource. I will go ahead and evade this guy, going 9 to 4. That's a pass. That was 6 to 4. Okay. I'm going to play a True Awakening. No, I'm not going to play a True Awakening. I'm going to do Lola Santiago and spend 4 to grab this last clue. 1, 2, 3, 4, still -2. All right. I'm going to do the free scan now. And we want red square. We got it. Oh my god, it was the next one. Yeah, the Feaster is all the symbols, by the way, if you didn't know. Stasis Cube, Timeless Artifact. Put this into play under the control of an investigator at your location. Double action, spend test Intelligence 3. If you succeed, remove 1 doom from the current agenda, and cross out 1 tally mark under a pending doom in your campaign log. Groups limit 1 success per game. Okay, so now we have the Stasis Cube. We just need to get back to Yugoth. All right. Put this card into play. You play an asset. I don't think this is me playing an asset. All right. That being said, I have an idea. I'm going to scan again. Red square. All right. Avatar Ancient 1 Elite, 3 fight, 3 evade, 6 health, massive. Spawn the Feaster from afar at your location. After Feaster from afar attacks you, heal all damage from it and place it at the bottom of the scanning deck. Victory 1 hits for 2 damage, 2 horror. So he's going to spawn here. Technically, he does not engage me, even though he is engaged with me. But I can now do this. I'll spend 2. Oh my god, this is so wild. I'm going to spend 2 to do an elusive. Disengage, fast play only during your turn. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. I'm going to go to the threshold of Yugoth. And then I can just resolve this. I kind of want to do this Doom thing, but I don't have time. I mean, actually there's a way. This will be, so I can go, what, 8 to 3 here? Okay, we're gonna go a little risky here. I'm gonna evade the Feaster from afar. So I'm going 5 to 3. I'm gonna spend 2 to go 8 to 3. Okay, I pass by 5. I'll do Hone Instinct to get 2 more actions. I'll spend those 2 actions to do Stasis Cube. This will be 6 to 3. I pass. We get to remove a Doom and remove a Doom and an impending Doom. This will get removed from the game. Then I spend 2, do the elusive to teleport to here. If an investigator is at the threshold, Yugoth controls the Stasis Cube, remove it from the game, and spend 4 clues as a group and add this to the victory display. So I'll add this to the victory display. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remove this from the game. Okay, objective complete. And remember, the only restriction for the Martian Ruins is as long as there's no readied enemy at this location. And we evaded this thing, so it's not readied. So we're good on that front. Okay. Then that is the end of that. I do love this idea of just spending money and solving all my problems. It is rather entertaining. Also, I don't remember if I shuffled or not. 1 second. I definitely did not shuffle, so I'll shuffle now. Okay. Diana, I know you're a little busy. After you trigger an activate ability at its location, it's going to engage and be a pain in my butt. Got it. So there's going to be some wacky things here. So is it after you trigger an activate ability? Okay. So I think the order is I need to resolve whatever I'm doing first and then do it. So with that in mind, let's attack the cyber cultist with our survival knife. Will be 5-3. I have to commit the overpower. 7-3. I succeed. I kill it. Also, technically, it should have gotten a bunch of doom, but it dies anyway. Draw a card. Then this guy's going to engage me, which will give me an offering, and then attack me. So I'll use survival knife at this point, which will put me at 5-3. And go 7-3 with wolf mask. I succeed, and I can grab something from my basement. I'll do 2 damage. Then he's going to hit me for 1-1, which I'll go ahead and do the I've had worse to gain 2 resources. Put it back into my basement. Draw a card, gain another resource. There's the super cannon. And then it is now it's still the rest of my turn now. Okay. It has 4 health. It has 2 health left. Let's go 5-3 and see if we can take it out. Not enough. I'll take 1 horror, which is going to get soaked by the spectral shield, which unfortunately I can't put in the basement. All right. I'll fast out this Sacred Oath. And I guess I'll just try to stab one more time. I could try evading, I guess. No, I don't really want to evade. I'm going to stab it. We'll go 5-3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, it'll hit for damage. Okay. Progress sort of made. When you're dealt damage or horror. Okay, I did make a mistake. The forced effect has to trigger first. So when I got hit for 1-1, instead it should have soaked this. I'll take a horror. And I can put that into the basement. I've already drawn the card. And then when I failed the check, I would have taken another horror, which I'll just take. And that should handle it. So let me verify real quick. Okay, yeah, it is all correct. So I was at 5 resources. I've had worse in my hand. I had this out. I got hits after the Elder Sign got resolved. This will go in my basement. I would have gone into resource, gone the Space Artillery. I used the resource to get the Sacred Oath out. I used the Spectral Shield to soak a damage, which I took a horror. Then I failed that check with the Elder Sign and took another horror. And everything's correct now. My apologies. That is quite the mess. And that was just the investigation phase. All right. Enemy phase. Now I get attacked again. All right. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, before I get attacked again, I'll spend one to get out the Spectral Shield again from the Twilight Blade. Then the enemy phase, I'm going to get attacked for 1 and 1. I'll use the I've Had Worse for this, which will get me 2 resources. And then this is the enemy phase, so I can put it in my basement, get a resource, draw a card. That's resolved. And then that is all the enemy phase. These guys don't have Hunter, don't need to worry about it. This guy's going to move over here during Hunter phase. Upkeep. Again, my apologies, this is quite the ordeal. Alright. Mythos, 7th Doom again. Thanks to the cube. Alright. Space Pirates. Humanoid criminal, nearest starship location, action, spend resources equal to Space Pirates' remaining health, parlay, discard Space Pirates. There are still laws and regulations in space, but no one to govern them. Neat. Alright. 3 fight, 4 health, and 3 evade. So the only starship right now is Tatterdemalion. So we'll put it there. I could kill it off right now, but I honestly don't need to. Alright, over here. Solar Eclipse. Put Solar Eclipse into play next to the agenda deck. When you initiate an investigation, you must either take 1 horror or your location gets +2 Shroud for this investigation. At the end of the round, discard Solar Eclipse. So I'll put this up here. I don't plan on investigating this round, so it's not a big deal. My hand size here is 5, by the way. I gotta keep track of that alienation. Alright, investigation. First things first. Let's... Oh, this is back to 2. I'm going to go ahead and stab this thing. I'm going to go 7 to 3. Okay, that is enough to kill it. It is gone. I'm going to Lightning Bolt onto the ship, get engaged by you. I'm going to parlay and spend 4 resources to kill you immediately. Then last action, I'm going to spend... Oh, also, I ended my turn at Hope. I should have healed 1 horror. Anyway, I'll play the Virtual Access Key. Actually, no, I will not play the Virtual Access Key. I'm going to connect this location to this one. Like so. And that'll be the end of her turn. Alright. Then it goes to Jenny. I'll place this, but I'm not going to move, because I can just Lightning Bolt move to here. Oh, also, since I started my turn there, Lone Wolf and Stylish Coat for 2 resources. And then I'm going to spend an action, or actually I will do a scan first. Tetris piece. None of these should matter, right? They do not matter. Tetris piece. Moon-based laboratory. 3 Shroud, 4 clues. Put this location into play. You cannot scan Moon-based laboratory while there are clues on it. At the end of the round, if there is a starship attached to this location, place 1 resource on this location. If there are 3 resources on it, spawn the set-aside Dalmag Teal enemy at this location. Victory 1. Cool. This is another colony location, by the way. All right, that was a successful scan, so I will draw a card. All right, then I'm going to spend an action, because it's per investigator for this ability, and reposition to the colony. I'll Lightning Bolt get onto the colony. Then I'm going to do a True Awakening to draw 2 cards and get a clue. And then I'm going to Just thinking. By the way, what was our top location? Okay, it's that one. I think what I'll do... So I can do a pilfer, but it'll only be 5 to 3, which means there's a chance I can fail. So I think for my last action, problem is also I'm about to discard a card, which isn't the end of the world. So yeah, I'm just going to play an easy mark, get 2 resources on a card. Okay. Enemy phase. Enemies aren't going to do anything. Upkeep. Upkeep. Sacrificial Beast. So, key thing about nearest and farthest, it is... So if there are only locations that are not connected, you could pick one that's not connected. But if there are connected locations, like Moonbase Laboratory and Tatterdemalion, your nearest and farthest rule is based off connected locations. So with that, I can pick either one of these. Well, technically the further location is Tatterdemalion, so we'll spawn you here and give you an offering. All right. And I already subtracted the resource for that. Mythos. Actually, at the end of the round, we will place a resource on this because there is a starship connected to it. All right, Mythos. Also, this will get discarded because I didn't actually investigate. All right, 8th Doom out of 12. Future Evils. So this is the one where if you place Doom down, it does extra, and it can cause the current agenda to advance. At this point, we've already taken out majority of the cyber cultists, so I think I'm okay with letting this be on the board. All right. I mean, I could just do it, but if I do it, yeah, I'm not going to do it. All right, over here. Space Pirates. I'll be on you. Have another offering. Okay. Investigation phase. I'm going to start with Diana, because unfortunately I need to do this. So I can go 5 to 4 with the survival knife. And unfortunately, there's not much else I can do about it. I'm going to attack. I'll commit an Enchanted Blade. Actually, I'll go 7 to 4 with Wolf Mask. Okay, do a damage. I'll go 7 to 4 again with Wolf Mask. And then last one, I'm going to go ahead and commit a Enchanted Blade and a 45 automatic to go 7 to 4 again. All right, that kills it. It's a good thing it has only 3 health. And then, unfortunately, there's not much else I can do with this, so I'm going to get pelted by you, which is fine. All right. Actually, drawing my weakness was kind of nice, because it meant I didn't have to discard. All right, Jenny, place this, get 2 actions. Lone Wolf, I will get a resource, and then another one from Stylish Coat. First action, I'm going to go ahead and spin 4 to do Pilfer. And I'm going to spend 2 resources to bring myself up to 8 to 3. That is 5 to 3. So that is still beating it by 2, so this will go back into my hand. At the end of the round, I'll get 3 clues. And then more importantly, I will get a resource from Dr. Milan. And then I'm going to take the free action, the free scan here, to scan this. So we need equal signs. Shielding device. Electromagnetic barrier. Put this card into play under the control of an investigator at your location. Reaction, when an investigator at your location takes any amount of damage and or horror, spend 1 resource and exhaust shielding device, cancel that damage and or horror. Okay. I'll put that over there. That was a successful scan, so I will draw a card. And then I'm going to scan again. Looking for equal sign, which we have on top. K11 survey unit. Put this card into play under the control of an investigator at your location. Action scan, choose a connecting location and exhaust K11 survey unit. Search for the topmost card in the scanning deck with an icon matching the chosen location and draw it, shuffling the scanning deck. So now we have you. We'll just put you there. This will be useful if we ever need to scan a location without being connected to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skulls are -3 now, by the way. I don't think we've drawn any skulls since then, so I think we're okay. So those are our free actions from Red Clock, among other things. I will Lightning Bolt back to the ship. Also, I don't remember I shuffled, so I'm just going to shuffle now. Lightning Bolt to the Tattered Demolion. I will spend an action. Let's see. At this point, I think I'm just going to start scanning a bunch. So yeah, I'll spend an action scanning. Derelict ship. I did shuffle. Derelict ship. 3 shroud, 2 clues. Starship, put this into play. As an additional cost to scan it, at Derelict ship, you must draw the top card of the encounter deck. The abandoned research vessel floats adrift at the edge of the solar system. There are no signs of any activity. Okay. I will go ahead and take an action to connect this to here. And then I will, as a lightning bolt, get off the ship, get on the other ship. And then I'm going to investigate this location. We'll go 7 to 3. Yeah, it's fine. 7 to 3. Okay, we pass. We'll get a resource and a clue. And then I'm going to spend 3 to Lola Santiago, the last clue. And be good to go. Investigation, enemy phase, I'm going to get attacked for 1 damage. I'm going to use Survival Knife and go 5 to 3. Unfortunately, I failed. I'm going to take 1 horror, which I'll have the horror. I'll soak the horror and put it in my basement. And then I'll get hit for 1. And then upkeep phase. Okay. And then over here, upkeep phase. Okay. Mythos. 9th Doom. Void Byaku. Any location without clues on it. Hunter. Void Byaku moves as if all locations without clues on them are connected to each other. The strange alien creatures are theorized to be attuned to the galactic magnetic field, granting them the ability to travel faster than light. 3 fight, 3 health, 4 evade. Hits for 1 and 1. I'll have it in. So this is a location. It's any location without clues. This location has no clues on it, so we'll do that. Speaking of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're -4 on skulls now. This is part of the reason why I do Pluto first, because drawing extra skulls is not a good thing. In any case, we get engaged, so we get a wolf mask offering. And then over here, solar eclipse. I am okay with having this for now. I'm kind of busy with other things. All right, investigation phase. I'm going to start with Jenny. I'll take the resources, use Stylish Coat to get another resource, and then Lone Wolf to get yet another resource. I'm trying to think here. That's right, I was in Moonbase, so I don't think there's been a situation where we've been on the same location. All right. I also don't remember if I shuffled since I've scanned, so let me check. All right, I did shuffle. Okay. We'll continue with Jenny. So, I do need to discard. I apologize. I have a hand size of 5 right now, so I do need to discard cards. I'll discard Dr. Milan, and I am going to go ahead and discard this. I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and discard the Pilfer. All right. In the meantime, all right, what am I going to do here with Jenny? So the mistake I made on my first run was this location. I did forget to draw an encounter card, and it would have changed a lot of things because it would have spawned a monster. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'll do the free scan, which is at an additional cost. I do need to draw the top card of the encounter deck. Cyber Cultist, any colony location. I guess, well, what I could do with that says just draw one, right? Okay, so here's the plan. It's going to be a little iffy. I'm going to do you handle this one. Gain a resource, pass it to you. And then I'm going to have her spend one and a horror to do a ward of protection and put it in the basement and kill this guy off. Okay. And now I'll do the scan. All right. There is one thing I want to check real quick. Okay, I was just trying to keep track of when I drew that solar eclipse. Okay, this card. Without a trace. Your extensive search on board reveals that the crew of the vessel vanished without a trace. There are no signs of forced entry and no corpses to be found. After rebooting the ship's AI, you learned that the starship was named the Casilda and served as an experimental spacecraft testing a new generation of antimatter engines. The final logs before the blackout describe an unidentified biosignature approaching the Casilda at an alarming velocity. Despite the mysterious disappearances, the starship itself appears to be in pristine condition. You could try to take advantage of the situation and repurpose the vessel for your own needs. Assume command of the ship. If there are no clues on it, you can replace it with the Casilda, and then you put this in the victory, or you can scavenge for parts. Which scavenging for parts will get you at least a card and a resource. But we have the clues off of this thing, so we'll get out the Casilda. Also, if you scavenge for parts, you would have to rescan if you want to get the Casilda. Alright, so this goes away, gets replaced with this. The Casilda, this experimental vessel, possesses a ravenous antimatter engine, giving it a high rate of acceleration and deceleration, designed to maximize speed and maneuverability. 2 shrouds, 0 clues. The Casilda is connected, so it's just like a starship. But instead of spending an action, it's a lightning bolt to spend 2 resources to do the connection stuff. All right, that is a successful scan, so I will go ahead and give myself a card, because I haven't done that yet this round. And we have a Honed Instinct. I believe that's our last one. Also, the Casilda does have a different symbol, so we got that to look forward to. Also, I don't remember if I shuffled, so I'm just going to shuffle now. All right, so with that in mind, we still have the asteroid belt to deal with, among other things. I do kind of want to scan again. So let's go ahead and scan again. There it is, Earth. The stars were right. 3 shroud, 4 clues. Put this location into play. Check your campaign log. Each investigator who has been corrupted by the Earth takes 2 damage. None of us have been corrupted. Victory 2. Force. After you enter this location, you're immediately driven insane. So yeah, you'll need to find other ways to get the clues off here and so forth. Olympus Telescope is a way to get clues off of it. The Survey Unit and the Universal Archives are both ways you can scan this potentially. Survey Unit's a lot easier to work with. In any case, as a lightning bolt, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to shuffle this again because I don't remember. I'm going to spend 2 resources to. So these are connected, and then I need a new connection for this ship. I'm going to connect to Earth, and then I'm going to spend 6 resources to play Intel Report. I can grab clues from a connecting location and grab an additional clue. So 2 clues, like so. Okay. Then I'm going to, as my last action, I think I'm just going to gain a resource. I guess I could do the investigate instead. I'll investigate. 7 to... Actually, no, if I investigate, it will have to be this. You know what? I'll still do this. I'll take the +2 shroud. 7 to 4. I succeed. Instead of getting clues, I will discard this and not have to worry about it anymore. It is still a successful investigate, so I will get a resource. Okay. Diana, I know things look a bit rough for you right now. There's not much I can do about it for you. I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 resources just to parlay this guy away from me. Then I'm going to stab this thing 5 to 3 and hope I do slightly better. Actually, before I do 5 to 3, I'll do Twilight Blade. No, don't do that yet. I'll go 5 to 3. I only failed by 1, so that's the good news. All right, 5 to 3 again. All right, we do 1 damage. Okay. Enemy phase, when I get attacked, I'm going to use this wolf mask and survival knife, go 7 to 3. Alright, we succeed, do 2 damage and kill this thing. Thank God. Alright. That is all the enemies. Go to upkeep. I do need to discard, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and get rid of the delay the inevitable. Okay. This will get discarded. 10th Doom out of 12. Void Byakuya again. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1. I will take the horror. I'll put this in my basement. Gain a resource, draw a card, and get rid of him, because holy cow, that needs to stop. Alright. Over here. Colors of Space, 4 to 3. We actually passed. This is the one that would make us use skill cards, but not a big deal. Okay, we just drew the Defiance. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Alright, investigation phase. Alright, let's start with Jenny. I'll do Lone Wolf, get 2 resources, and I'll go ahead and place this. First action, I'm going to spend 6 and do another intel report and grab these last 2 clues. Then I'm going to take advantage of the free scan and use Doggo here. And scan this location. Circle and triangle, huh? Not sure what that's about. All right, I'll scan the Earth from an adjacent location. Yeah, connecting location, cool. So looking for Fireball. That'll be this one. The Pallid Mask. Put this card into play under the control of an investigator at your location. Exhaust Pallid Mask, test Intelligence 3. If you succeed, you may move to any reveal location. If you fail, you take 1 direct horror. Okay, this is a successful scan, so I will go ahead and draw a card. All right, so we got all of that. And trying to think here. I guess now all we need to do is get ourselves to the asteroid belt and start getting that stuff taken care of. So let's go ahead and gain a resource, and I'll spend 2 as a lightning bolt to connect to the asteroid belt. And then I will lightning bolt to the asteroid belt. 2 shroud, 1 clue. At the end of your turn, heal 1 damage. Action, resign, rejoin the United Colonial Coalition, and try to live a normal life among the stars. Forged from the remains of mining outposts and scientific space stations, the UCC has 1 goal: the survival of humanity at whatever cost. Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and just scan. Mount Sinai. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so... Oh, I think I was still at -3 for a while. I thought Hope was already cleared off. It was not. All right, Mount Sinai. 4 shroud, 2 clues. Put this location into play. When you would scan at Mount Sinai, test agility 1. This test gets +2 difficulty for each clue on this location. If you fail, cancel that scan. A high-security scientific laboratory with a staff of hundreds of full-time live-in colonists. Okay, end of my turn, I'm going to heal 1 damage. All right. Also, I'll shuffle this because I don't remember. All right, Diana. Holy cow, Diana. All right. I'm going to spend 2 to get out the virtual access key. I'm going to spend an action to connect this to here, and lightning bolt go to Hope for a bit. And then last action, I'm going to go ahead and gain a resource. And then I will lightning bolt, or not lightning bolt, but I'll use Twilight Blade to replay my Spectral Shield. And then at the end of the finish our turn and get a heal a horror. All right, enemies aren't going to do anything because these guys don't have Hunter for some reason. Upkeep. Upkeep. Mythos. 11th Doom. Offer a power. It's a pact, isn't it? And I have a pact. So I will go ahead and discard this to cancel the effect. Goes in my basement. And draw a card. And then over here, the stars were right. Attach this card to a location with the most clues without a copy of the stars were right. Attached. After you fail a skill test by 3 or more at the attached location, place 1 doom on the stars were right. As an action, you can test willpower. If you succeed, you can discard it. So highest clue count is up here. So we got that to deal with. All right, investigation phase. I'm going to start with Diana. I'm going to Gain 2 resources. Last action, I'm going to spend 4 to get out the space artillery. All right. And then at the end of her turn, she's going to heal a war. Jenny. Lone Wolf plus Stylish Coat gives us 2 resources. We will place a charge here to get 2 more actions. And we will begin the process. So this is a heart location. I'll go ahead and do the free scan. And take care of whatever this is. Exoroid. 2 fight, 4 health, 4 evade. Any asteroid belt location, Hunter retaliate after you defeat Exoroid, shuffle it back into the scanning deck. That's no asteroid. Hits for 1 and 1. This thing's going to engage me. Since I got engaged by an enemy, I will play this Honed Instinct to get 2 more actions. Okay. We have things we need to do. So, Honed Instinct, we're going to evade. 5. Actually, no, what we can do is we can spend 2 to do breaking and entering. This will bring us to 11. It's actually an investigate, right? Yep, so it's a 12 to 2. Good luck. We passed by a bunch. You are now evaded. I get this clue. So I believe it's definitely, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, -4. All right, you're evaded. I got the clue. This will go back to my hand because I passed by a billion. I'll just put it there now. I'm then going to, second action, move up. Then I'm going to, oh, also since I successfully investigate, Dr. Milan will give me a resource. All right. And then I'm going to investigate this location, 7 to 4. I'll spend 2 to get +2 to this. Actually, it's only if I fail by 3 or more. Never mind, I won't worry about it then. 7 to 4 then. That is a pass, just barely. Yeah, +1, +1, +1, +1. Yep, 7 to 4. All right, get a resource for that. I'll investigate again, 7 to 4. This Honed Instinct gets removed from the game. That's all my Honed Instincts. I pass, I get another clue. And a resource. I've already done my free scan. I will go ahead and scan this location. Also, I don't remember if I shuffled, so I'm going to shuffle it now. All right. Scanning, I have to do this check 5 to 1. I succeed. Not that one, that one. All right. Project Origami. Put Project Origami into play next to the act deck. Help the UCC escape by proving the formula to fold spacetime. If an investigator at Mount Sinai controls Universal Archives, remove it from the game and spend 4 clues as a group to add this card to the victory display. The data required is reported to have been discovered somewhere along the edge of the solar system. Okay. I'm at Mount Sinai. I do have the archives. So I'll go ahead and remove the archives and spend the 4 clues. That is 4 clues. Yep, that is 4 clues. Okay, that's been solved. Next, I will move back. I'm going to lightning bolt onto the ship. Unless there's something else here. No, it's just that one. Circle and triangle. What is still here? One way to find out, I guess. I will spend 2 to lightning bolt this to here. And then free action, get onto Hope. And I will scan one more time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at -5s now for skulls. All right, scanning. Last Hope. Put Last Hope into play next to the Act deck. Find a way to protect Hope. If an investigator at Hope controls the shielding device, remove it from the game and spend 4 clues as a group to add this card to the victory display. Rumor has it that the electromagnetic shielding technology has already been developed by humanity in certain secret laboratories. Okay. I will spend the 4 clues. And was it the shielding device? Yep. I do lose the shielding device, but I wasn't using it anyway. It is really good, though. And then I will heal a horror at this location. All right, don't need to worry about Exoroid. And all that's left is this location, which we don't have a plus sign yet. I feel like I probably messed something up somewhere, but at this point, I think we're in a good place. All right. Let's go ahead and go to enemy phase. No enemies to worry about. Upkeep. I do need to discard a card. We'll discard this 45 automatic. All right. Mythos. We do advance. Soul. 9 Shroud, 0 clues. Put this location into play. After you enter this location, you are immediately killed because it's the freaking sun. The sun glares with unrivaled intensity in the night sky, challenging and defeating all in a vicious battle for attention. Let's put the sun, I don't know, down here. All right. So obviously the way to scan this, we will need to either use the archives, which we don't have anymore, or use the survey unit. Okay. Red Sun. Solar flares and radioactive emissions have been surging in frequency beyond expected fluctuations. Despite the increasingly dangerous environment, you carry on with your quest to save the future of humanity. Okay. We do need to draw bad cards. Cold Vacuum, 3/3. Fortunately, I don't have a solution for this. I have to commit the Defiance, though, as per my Colors of Space. So 4/3. At this point, yeah, I'll just go 4/3. If we fail, we fail. Hey, we passed. Grim Future. Add to any investigator's threat area. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, actually, since the agenda did advance, I do need to resolve this. I need to actually resolve this first. So, okay, still a pass. All right. In any case, this will get killed. This will soak. I'll take the horror, which will get soaked with this, and then I'll put this in my basement, get a resource draw card, and be good to go. And then the other check I passed even without the Defiance. Okay. And then this will be there. Cool. Good to go. Investigation phase. Okie dokie. Jenny, I will not get lone. Actually, we will have Diana go first. First action for Diana. Mercy Cash. We're putting all the supplies on this thing. Okay. And then I'm going to get onto the Tetragramalion. I will spend an action to go ahead and connect to it. Actually, no, we will not connect to it. We'll keep it here. And then I will, for my last action, I'm going to gain a resource. Okay. Jenny. Now I can do this. Lone Wolf, Stylish Coat, get 2 resources. And then I will Lightning Bolt, get myself onto the Casilda. And then spend 2 resources to connect to it. And then do my free scan. using the K11 unit. All right, check your campaign log. If you know of the Abjuration of the Throne, which we do. After months of searching, you have finally uncovered the ritual site, the sun itself. If you are to give the entire solar system a chance to thrive for a few more millennia before having to retreat, this ritual must be done. Attach this card to Soul. Investigators at a connecting location must spend 18 clues as a group to complete the ritual. If you do so, replace the agenda deck and act deck with the set-aside Dark Matter agenda and Tisilda's Awakening Act, and spawn the set-aside Tisilda enemy at Soul. Reduce the cost of the ritual by 4 for each of the following that you have in your campaign log. You witness the primordial chaos, witness the unconscious pandemonium, witness the manifest madness. Beware, challenging the throne is no simple task and may doom the solar system to a worse fate. And if you didn't have the Abjuration of the Throne, you would just get clues, which would be helpful, but it would not allow you to do this thing. All right, so we do have all the witnesses, so we reduced the cost by 12. So it only costs 6 clues to do what we need to do. All right. Oh, also, I should have taken these and gained resources. My apologies. All right. Well, let's do it. It doesn't take an action. I can just do it. So 6 clues. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Leaving us with a whopping 3 clues left. All right. So, replace the agenda deck and the act deck with the set-aside Dark Matter agenda and Tisilda Awakening Act. And spawn the set-aside whatchamacallits. All right, here's Tisilda. Dark Matter. And Tisilda's Awakening. So this will spawn at Soul. Tisilda, Royal Princess of Carcosa. 6 fight, 8 health, 3 evade. Master Retaliate gets plus 2 health for each tally mark under impending doom in your campaign log. So 4 extra health? Yeah, 4 extra health. Because we reduced the doom down to 2. Okay, that actually helps things. After any amount of doom is placed on a card, for each doom placed, place 1 horror token on Tisilda's location and each connecting location. You will receive no such niceties or mercies from my sire. Hits for 3 and 3. So its health is... was it 2, 4... 8. It should have 12 health. Yeah, 12 health. Alright. Dark Matter. Forcefully removing Tisilda from the throne only delayed the imminent supernova and brought attention to the colonies. She has taken the destruction of the solar system into her own hands. You must stop her before madness consumes all. When a location has 3 or more horror on it, remove it from the game. Each investigator at that location is defeated. Move all enemies at that location to the location with the most clues. If each investigator has resigned or has been defeated, advance. Keep adding doom to this agenda. Okay. Tisilda's Awakening. Madness and chaos spreads across space. You must stop Tisilda at all costs. You can scan, action, parlay, get help from the colonies. Place 1 of your clues onto the location with the most clues. Deal X damage to Tisilda. X is the number of story assets in the victory display. When Tisilda is defeated, advance. So yeah, doing all these story things did actually help. So, with that in mind, place 1 of your clues onto the location with the most clues. So how does she work again? I think I can just win. No, I can't win. I can come close. Place 1 of your clues onto the location with the most clues. Okay, and then here... yeah, I think we're okay. So yeah, I'll spend an action and drop a clue. So the location with the most clues on it. We'll put it on Hope. That'll do 3 damage because we have 3 assets on this thing. In the victory display, rather. Alright. I'll do it again because there's no limit. Yeah, I think this is what happened on my previous Larn too. We just did this. And then kind of went to town. And then we'll do it one more time. All right. Yeah, right now we can't engage her at all because the sun. So if you wanted to wait, you can eventually wait until she blows up the sun, but I don't think that's a good thing. All right. Three more horror. Okay. Enemy phase, they're not doing anything. Upkeep. Yeah, if I had actually waited until next round, I could have probably just shot the cannon at her. Alright, Mythos. First Doom, which is going to put a horror on location in each connecting location. So this location and this location. And we go to town. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else. Agenda deck and active deck. Yeah. With the agent, yeah, dark matter and that, and then spawn the set aside Tisilda enemy at soul. Yeah, I don't know what Haster's Gaze is about. I know about this thing, obviously. That's when you stay too long at Moonbase. Which definitely has some benefits. I don't know how you get. I guess you get Haster's Gaze if you take too long here. That's my only guess. In any case, let's go ahead and go to town. And it's only when 3 horrors placed on an object. Yeah, cool. Future evils. And a Yithian Observer. Here, let me handle that. Actually, no, don't even do that. Screw it. We'll just keep it. Investigation phase. I'm going to spend 2 actions with Diana. Let's see, as a lightning bolt, I can spend 2 with Jenny and have this connect to literally anything else. And then as a double action during Diana's turn, I'm going to shoot the cannon. I can pick any location. And each enemy will take 3 damage. And that should kill. Because 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 12 HP. That is a kill on Tisilda. When Tisilda is defeated, you advance. Finale. If Hope, Yugoth, and New Brooklyn have been removed from the game, you have finally vanquished the fabled princess of Carcosa, but at what cost? Which will be advanced to Agenda 1D. Otherwise, it is finally over. The dark veil covering the solar system left behind by Tisilda's wake dissipates into the space as the sun shines once more. Resolution 2. Whew. Yeah, like I said, this is a fun map, but there is a lot of moving pieces. It is also just kind of easy if you kind of know where to go. If you don't know where to go, you could be spending a lot of actions just doing scans for no reason. And if you don't know how to handle things like the Feaster from Afar or the Exoroid, that can also be a problem. Actually, yeah, I kept thinking the Feaster of Afar was the one that kept respawning. It's actually the Exoroid. This thing I spawned like 3 times on my first playthrough because I didn't really have a way of evading it very reliably. Yeah, the first time I beat it, I was using a Lily Chin and Minty Fan. And of course, if you were using things like Pin of the Queen or anything that lets you grab teleport or move around stuff. It can you can definitely break a lot of things in this once you start exploring everything. But like I said, it's really fun. It's quite a finale. I definitely would say the Tasilda fight is kind of lackluster, but I mean, I did do everything pretty well, and this Dark Matter is definitely known to be an easier campaign than a lot of other campaigns, and especially a lot of other custom campaigns. But it is a lot of fun. I definitely like it as a tie-in to Path of Carcosa. Resolution 2. All right. The Royal Princess of Carcosa succumbs to your assault and wastes away before you. You have defeated Tasilda, and in doing so, have prevented the early collapse of the sun. Suddenly, there's a horrific smell wafting down all around you, carried by a blast of chilly air. Before any of you can react, a dark cloud crackling with arcs of yellow and white energy expels from the sun, surrounding the entire ship. Within this cloud hovers a horrific creature. It is enormous, wrinkled, and hunched, with dozens of tentacles, each tipped with a wicked looking fang. This can only be the being Tasilda spoke of, her sire, the last king. In an instant, the great abomination begins crushing the hull of the ship inwards. In your final moments, despite being unable to save yourself from the blast, you feel accomplished and redeemed by what you have done to save the others. The End 3. The End 3. A roar of applause startles you awake. The crowd of the theater rises to their feet, cheering endlessly. Several patrons in the front row are throwing roses to the actors on stage, who are bowing with wide smiles across their faces. A searing headache crawls through your temples. How did you get back here? Were you in the theater all along? What about the Tatterdemalion? K2PS187. Fragment? The entire future? Was it all just a terrible dream? You exit the auditorium before the crowd rushes to do the same. Dizziness and exhaustion harries your senses. The weight of your lengthy adventure is crushing your mind. By the time you finally reach the lobby, you are clawing your way across the ground. The ground. Earth. You are finally home. A few of your thoughts wander towards the idea that this might be another simulation or a trick of the mind. But you don't care anymore. You can live with that. At least now there is hope for a brighter future. In your campaign log, record the investigators have finally escaped Hastur's grasp and prevented him from escaping his prison. You win the campaign. And this is one of the few situations where you actually heal trauma as you gain hope. In your campaign log, record that Hope was shielded from the blast, the UCC escaped to another galaxy, and the Miko safely returned to the other world. Well, I did all 3 of those, so that is definitely what happened. Epilogue. If Hope was shielded from the blast or the UCC escaped to another galaxy, proceed to Epilogue 1. Despite all odds, humanity survived the second apocalypse. Beneath the light of new stars and amidst the dust of the dead, humanity enters a golden era of scientific development and prosperity. When the white dwarf that used to be the sun extinguishes, mankind will have colonized half a galaxy worth of stars. Some of the worlds will succumb to the madness of the ancient ones, but most will survive and thrive. And yet, after billions and billions of years, the net entropy of the universe continues to increase slowly and steadily. The stars go dim, one by one, until the beings that descended from what was once humanity must survive by extracting the negligible amount of radiation released by the only celestial bodies remaining in the universe, black holes. And still, after a finite but uncontrollable time, even the black holes will evaporate. If the Miko safely return to their homeworld, skip to Epilogue 4. But humanity is not alone. They have encountered countless alien species throughout the universe and shared their knowledge and advancements towards finding a way to reverse entropy. The final piece of the puzzle was information that had been collected by the Miko scientists of Yugoth, the data within 6 human brains that once populated a kindergarten class on Earth before the ancient ones first awakened. And thus, with the essential help of the Miko, the royal family of Carcosa was imprisoned, and their mad realm of Carcosa once more, and the yellow stars rise again in rebirth of a brighter universe. Record that Hastur and Tasilda are imprisoned in Carcosa once more, and the universe vanquished the inevitable for now. And there you go. So yeah, fantastic campaign. Like I said, there's a few confusing parts. The puzzliest part in the Fragment of Carcosa can be a bit of a headache. But all these other scenarios are very good. Starfall is very good. It's definitely a longer finale. There's a lot of things you can jump around and do things for. Overall, though, this is essentially Jenny Barnes' first foray into a full campaign. Granted, this campaign gives you tons of experience, like a stupid amount. We had about 30 XP by our second, well over 30 XP by our second, or by our third scenario. That being said, obviously I mentioned, as I've been going along, I've been mentioning tweaks to the deck that I probably want to make, probably drop down the rabbit hole Down the Rabbit Hole is probably good for Thug Jenny, just simply because there's plenty of weapons to upgrade. But for Clover Jenny, there's less need for that. I will say I definitely had a lot of pretty good luck, especially early on. I got Red Clock, and I ended up usually having it in my starting hand, or if I didn't have it in my starting hand, I had Dr. Milan and a magnifying glass, and that combination alone just kind of keeps things going. I definitely did not expect Jenny to be so efficient, I guess is the term. I mean, she usually has 3s in all her stats, which is a bit iffy, and having to spend, 2 resources every time you do an investigate just to have a chance to pass chest can be kind of annoying, but a combination of like the Honed Instinct, the Gold Pocket Watch, and the Red Clock, I just had so many extra. I like the concern I have for rogues when it comes to being a clover is the action compression. And with Jenny, I either would solve it with getting those extra actions like I mentioned before, Honed Instinct or Gold Pocket Watch, or I just literally buy my problem. I buy the solution to my problem with Intel Report. This is the first time I've played with Intel Report seriously, and there were multiple situations where I would just spend 6 resources just to grab 2 clues from somewhere, and it was very, very helpful. We could have also had more experience. If we had read the play, that would have ensured that that both of us would have had at least a mental trauma, in which case then this Heir to Carcosa would actually give us extra XP. I definitely can't imagine what it would be like to go in with 2 Mystics and just having a bunch of mental trauma right off the bat, because you can usually start anywhere from 2 to 4. And so this Heir to Carcosa definitely gets you quite a bit of extra XP if you need it. Yeah, there's definitely some tweaks as far as like upgrades. I definitely regret kind of dropping I ended up dropping like Breaking and Enterings in one of my pilfers pretty early on, and relying more on just pure action economy and making my number go big. But honestly, it was still pretty good overall. I don't really have any other way to say it. Diana is also just crazy fun. The addition of the spectral shields is just crazy good. It's essentially a cheaper version of Delay the Inevitable that's just easier to work with. And as you notice, I don't use really spells in this deck. I think probably one of the things is once I get upgraded to the backpack level 2s, I should really probably just start dropping some of my weapons. Because I definitely had a lot of weapons I just did not need. I mean, I still committed them, which is still useful since she has pretty low combat, or average combat at best. But just being able to, there's just so many ways for me to, with this in combination of Twilight Blade, there was just so many ways for me to kind of just keep using the cancel and negates I had, which allowed me to kind of not only, mitigate any damage and horror I was taking, but also let me, every time I do her ability, I get a resource and a card. And since I don't care about my willpower in most cases, I mean, obviously failing treachery sucks, but as far as like keeping my willpower high for spells, I don't use spells, so I can freely use Twilight Blade to constantly grab things out of my deck, either a Delay the Inevitable or a Spectral Shield, like I mentioned before. The other thing that really I was actually kind of surprised about was Sacred Oath. Sacred Oath is the thing I failed to realize is it had the same situation as Delay the Inevitable and Spectral Shield, which is you can use the Twilight Blade to get it out, and then you can still put it in your basement after the fact, because as long as you are not trying to trigger it while you are resolving playing it through the Twilight Blade, you can put this back into the basement as many times as you want. Obviously, it is kind of scenario or campaign specific, because obviously there are only certain keywords that are available. That being said, there were plenty of keywords I was able to take advantage of. There was omens. There were a few terrors in some scenarios. What else is there? Power could be done. Yeah, there's terror there. Hazard I couldn't do anything with. Curse and Hex was probably the one I didn't really get to do anything with in this particular campaign. Yeah, Madness I don't think matters in this one either. But even then, it wasn't too shabby. We managed to avoid some of the nastier treacheries. The Dark Forest one's actually pretty annoying because it makes you draw even more encounter cards. We ended up getting like a lot of enemies all at once, which kind of was a bit rough. Obviously, the biggest weakness for Diana is she doesn't actually have a lot of ways to punch very hard. I'm pretty heavy reliant on the Wolf Mask and Survival Knife, but also I cannot overstate how great Survival Knife is. Being able to just do damage outside your turn is a lot better than wasting actions doing things. Obviously, I ended up in some situations where I was just like, I can't do anything. I have to wait until this monster attacks me so I can kill it just efficiently. But even then, it was still crazy. I'm really, like I said, I'm really glad about these specialist cards. I think there's like one other card that's Silver Twilight and Cultist, but unfortunately, I don't think it's anywhere as good as this one. But yeah, Sacred Oath, 5 or 6 XP because of Down the Rabbit Hole to get all of these out, and just spinning. It's fast to get out. All 3 of them take up 1 arcane slot, and for it fits really well with the way I play Diana, where I rely purely on survivor cards and just kind of go from there. That being said, obviously there were some weapons I were trying to implement because that's what I kind of would default to in previous plays of her. But Time Worn Brand is, 1, it's too expensive, and 2, I don't have the hand slots for it. Since I use backpacks, I don't really have Bandolier as an option either. So in most cases, I'm mostly relying on things like Twilight Blade and Survival Knife and just kind of going from there. The ways to kind of get around that, obviously, is eventually... so like I said, I end up having to be... I don't have the hand slots to use the weapons. Let's just put it that way. So once I get the backpacks, I need to start dropping weapons and just getting things that will help me either get my better weapons out or find other ways to mitigate being attacked by enemies. Obviously, Ward of Protection level 5 is a very good monster killer. As long as you're not trying to get victory, it's fantastic. That in combination with Twilight Blade, you can essentially use it 4 times. As long as you have a way of mitigating the horror you're going to be inflicting to yourself. Obviously, the story card, the Virtual Access Key, definitely is a savior here. It allowed me to soak a lot more. But even without it, you still have things like Spectral Shield to kind of mitigate most of the stuff. You can also use I've Had Worst. The Deny Existence level 5, unfortunately, because Spectral Shield is a thing, I end up in situations where I just don't need to use Deny Existence. And once I level up to level 5, I find it harder to use because I want to get the benefit of reversing the effect rather than negating it. So in hindsight, I think I upgraded the Deny Existences first and then the wards. I think in hindsight, I should just upgrade the wards and then do the Deny Existences. Because then if it's just a level 0, I can just throw it out there whenever I need to discard a card or take a damage. The other thing that's just restrictive about Deny Existence is it's really based off what you get hit by. It has to be an enemy attack or an encounter card. If it's anything else, it generally will not save you. As for our weaknesses, Paranoia thankfully never really hit in a situation where it was devastating. In most cases, I didn't have a lot of money. Obviously, I definitely was devoting half my economy towards a super cannon, which I barely used. At least I didn't use it in the final fight that much. I used it once, but there are some fights where I did use it repeatedly and did a lot of extra damage. But that's a story item, so I'm not going to say much more about that. Jenny Barnes' weakness, self-centered, wasn't really too big of an issue. I did have to remind myself a few times that I couldn't help Diana a few times. My biggest concern, of course, was always this sacrificial beast. It really can depend on when you draw this that can hinder Jenny. Like if you're stuck with this thing, it's like really far away and you don't have an easy way to kill it. It can definitely hurt Jenny's tempo quite a bit because essentially she's just reduced to gaining 1 resource per round. But the moment that you get rid of it, like once you've drawn it and gotten rid of it, like all bets are off. Jenny is just good to go. Green Main Medallion also definitely saved us a bunch of XP, like a stupid amount. Towards the end, I obviously was just like, I don't need this anymore. But I don't know what else to say. Like I said, the campaign itself was a lot of fun. Like I said, I got a little frustrated towards the end with Fragma Carcosa and Starfall, probably because I was trying to get this campaign done and recorded so I can kind of just relax and take it easy for a bit because I have way too many videos recorded right now. But yeah, I'm really glad I tried out Jenny. Cleaver Jenny is a lot easier to kind of get set up than Combat Jenny. That being said, I will definitely like to play a Combat Jenny sometime, but I'll have to wait for another time to do that. I think I'm good on Diana for a bit. This deck was fantastic, and the ways I have it tweaked is just definitely going to make it even better. As for what I'm going to do next, I have no idea. I have so much stuff recorded, so I'm probably going to let things settle for a bit before I do anything else. Or if I am going to play anything, it's probably just going to be on my own for a bit. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if it was all rambly and incoherent, but something you guys come for that for some reason. But anyways, thank you guys for always watching, and I'm the Depressed Dior. This was Arkham Horror the Card Game, Dark Matter Custom Campaign by Axolotl. He did fantastic work. Diana Stanley and Jenny Barnes also did fantastic work. And I'll see you guys next time.